Shalom everyone, and we are today in Parashat Nitsavim. Parashat Nitsavim is the last parasha before Rosh HaShanah every year, and you can find it in the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 29, verse 9. It is not the end of the 5 books of Moses. Why? Because we did not finish the year. Really, we did not finish the cycle. The year is over and new year is starting, but we will learn that the starting is taking 22 days. And those 22 days will be over on the 22nd day of Tishrei, the day of Simchat Torah. Only then we start reading from Bereshit, and in Hebrew, in a regular Hebrew, when you want to say we're starting anew, we say starting from Bereshit. להתחיל מברeshit, which means the starting of the year is really on Simchat Torah. So why the new year is on Rosh HaShanah? And the answer is that the whole process of creating the new year takes 22 days, as we are going to learn on our lesson about Rosh HaShanah. So the year really is starting on the 22nd of Tishrei, on Simchat Torah. That's when we start reading the book of Bereshit. And so how do you call those days between Rosh Hashanah and Simchat Torah? It's like we are still working on the fuels that we still have in the gas tank from the previous year. We are not in the previous year. And the new year did not start yet, so it's an intermediate time between Rosh Hashanah and Simchat Torah. Okay, what is this parasha about? First of all, something that it's very important to understand. It's a huge opportunity because Parashat Nitzavim, as we said, is always being read before the Shabbat, before Rosh Hashanah. Atem Nitzavim Hayom, and the word is Atem Nitzavim, that's the name of the parasha. Nitzavim means you are standing, but the verb Nitzav is always connected, not just standing there on the street, or you were sitting and then you stood up. The verb for that is amad or omed. Here the word is nitzav. Nitzav means that you're being appointed. You're standing in order to get your appointment, to get your job. So the connotation is really important because it says Atem Nitzavim Hayom. You're standing there to get your appointment today. And the word is again in Hebrew, Hayom, is not today, it's the day. The day. Kulchem, all of you, Lifnei Hashem, in front of God, in front of the creator of the world. Elohechem, Rashechem, your leaders, Shiftechem, the leaders of the tribal leaders, Ziknechem, the family leaders, Shotrechem, the officers, Kol Ish Yisrael, every person amongst Israel. Tapchem, the children, Neshechem, the women, Gercha Asher Bekerev Machanecha, even the ones who are not, who just joined you. Michotev Etzecha Shoel V'mecha, from the tree, the wood cutter, till the people who draw the water. All of it. Le'ovrecha. And what is for what? Le'ovrecha bivrit Adonai Elohecha. In order to receive, accept the covenant. Okay, so the two ways to interpret it. One, simply according to the story of the book of Deuteronomy, this is the day that Moses is leaving the world, and he is giving us the completion of his legacy, and that means he's saying, I'm leaving, and I want to remind you that you are in a covenant with the Creator, and that's a special day for you, for me, for the whole world. However, why are we reading that always before Rosh HaShanah? Because Moses' death anniversary is on the 7th day of the month of Adar, which is like 6 months ago, 6 months from now. Okay, Adar and Elul, 6 months apart. So what is the connotation? And the connotation, very simple. Rosh Hashanah is a very important day. And there are many aspects to that day, and we're going to talk about it. But one of the most important is here about the word Nitsavim, which means you're facing your calling. You're facing your appointment. You're facing, and it doesn't matter if you're young or old, man or woman, a Jew or a non-Jew, it doesn't matter. Rosh Hashanah, this is the day that every human soul has the opportunity to connect to Bereshit, to the beginning of its creation, the creation of the universe and the creation of human souls, which means it's about a whole year has passed, and it's a time not just to make New Year's resolutions. This will be the outcome. But the time is to ask ourselves, like, are we really connected to who we are, to our souls, to our destination, destiny, to our calling, to the real, true inner essence of each one of us? And therefore, the big calling, the big message of Rosh Hashanah and the days coming afterwards, but especially on Rosh Hashanah, is we are getting that gift because each one of us has that sense that, who am I? What am I? What am I doing over here? And why I'm not so excited about my life? And the answer is, if we are not doing what we're supposed to do, or we're not doing it right, of course we won't be excited about it. And we are supposed to be excited about who we are, what we are doing, and and about the future, because that's a natural state of a real healthy human being, to be excited, because otherwise, what's the purpose of being alive? And if you learn Kabbalah, you understand that when we want to go to the core values of true monotheism, it's about one thing. Monotheism is about one endless, infinite God, which is endless energy and life and light force that is never changing, always sharing, overshining, always projecting only good. And our job is basically to receive that good, to become the vessel for that good, and to be able to transmit that good to the rest of humanity, because without my light, humanity will never be complete. And that's the whole thing about monotheism, that we are all one because God is one, and we are one with God. The problem is, if I am not one with myself, with my own calling, if I'm not fulfilled with my own calling, and I'm not doing my job, who else is going to do my job? No one will be able to do your job or my job. So on Rosh Hashanah, we have this amazing opportunity to reset, reconnect to who I am, what am I about, what are my real values, and how do I define my purpose in this world. So Rosh Hashanah is an amazing opportunity that the heavens open up and we can connect to that initial moment of the creation of the whole universe. And therefore, every time that on Rosh Hashanah we blow the shofar, after every session, we say, Hayom Harat Olam. Today is the inception of the universe. Today is when the universe started, which means I can go back to that moment, and underneath the cover of all the confusion, all the background noise, all the artificial noise, all the noise that has been added by mistake or by purpose during my life and previous lives, and I want to connect to that sound, that vibration, that frequency of the way my soul was created, so I can follow that calling through the whole year. So of course, you can call it the Day of Judgment, because in many books it's called the Day of Judgment, but of course it is judgment. The moment a person is not connected or refuses to connect to his own or her own calling and to our own essence, that's judgment. Because whatever you're going to try to do is going to fail, and you're going to be very frustrated about why it's not working for me. And the answer is because that's not your job. You're not doing the right thing. So can we achieve that on one Rosh HaShanah? It's very hard. And no free lunches, right? This is the main rule of this universe, because the Creator, when He created us with all the gifts of the fulfillment that He intended to give us. From His point of view, it's a done deal already, which means all the gifts that the Creator intended to give to each one of us, to every human soul, have already been delivered. The point is, it isn't a trustee. Why? Because since we all were created in the image of God, that means that you need to be independent. You cannot take anybody's favors, even God's favors. So you can't let Him make you happy. Just like this, you need to get it on your own. And you need to be a giver in order to receive His giving. So the whole thing about today, the day, is the day of Rosh HaShanah, that every human soul is facing its inception. So it's a gift for us. It's a day of contemplation, prayer. It's not a day for shopping. It's not a day for, it's wasting your time. You get such a gift, and during the year, when you find yourself confused or you lose your marbles, and where have you been when all of that was given away? No, I was busy doing something else. Rosh Hashanah is the day to collect all what's really is important for us. Okay, so there are many ways to look at that day. One of them we can find in the Zohar. Because when we continue the reading, it says very clearly on verse 13, chapter 29, "Velo itchem levadchem anochi koret et habrit hazot." I am not making this covenant, just with you. Okay? Verse 14, "Ki et asher yeshno po imanu omed hayom lifnei Hashem," because whoever is here today with us in front of God, okay, and whoever is not here with God, okay, the pact, the covenant is with everyone. Because let's say somebody can say, I don't remember being there. I don't remember being there. And the answer is, it doesn't give you any exemptions. Because all souls were present. Think about it again. The whole thing is connected not just to the moment of the creation, but there's something very peculiar about it. It's also the moment of Mount Sinai revelation, because the whole creation of the world was created in one condition, that there will be that event that a bunch of human beings will accept the covenant. Okay, it happened to be that those were the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, since the others were not ready at that time to come for that meeting on Mount Sinai. Okay, why? The process. They were not there, and that's why there's a legend, a very old legend, that says that the Creator offered the Torah to every nation. However, the nations didn't want the Torah. They said to give it to somebody else, and when finally the Creator said, okay, I'm going to give it to the Israelites, everybody will say, okay, give it to them. Rabbi Ashlag, the founder of the modern movement of Kabbalah and the commentator of the Zohar, Rosh HaSulam, he says very clearly, like, what is this legend about? You can't take legends literally. If God appeared to every nation and offered the Torah, there should be some legends about it. Because we have legends about the story of Noah and the ark among nations all over the planet. So we know something like this did happen, and we can see remnants of it in people's, nations, legends and stories and art, right? But how did God appear to the nations, offering the Torah? We don't hear any stories like this. There's no remnant for it. How did he offer it? Did he appear to everybody in the dream? Did he come in a big convention like Mount Sinai? Did he send prophets in order to offer the Torah? We have no remnants of stories like this. So we have to understand that this is kind of an allegory, which means, what is the Torah really about? And we know that there are many ways to explain it, but one of them, the most popular, the easiest, when you want to explain what is the Torah standing on one leg, love others as you love yourself. The world is going through a long, tiring, and hard process of humanity learning to love, really to love, other people unconditionally, no matter the background, race, religion, social status, or stuff like this. Just why? Not because it is moral, not because it is nice, not because it is religion, just because that's the way we can connect to the Creator of the universe. And connecting to the Creator of the universe, that's our destiny. And when we're not connected to the Creator, horrible stuff happening. Even though we can see along the history of humanity how many people in the name of God created terror, destruction, murder, and stuff in huge scales, and it is still happening in front of our eyes these days, in the name of religion, the name of God, not just a God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Still you see people preaching, not just preaching, just doing, executing, murdering other people. Some of them are their family members, nations, people from the same nation, just because they don't believe in God the way I believe, which is, this is like sickening. This is a disease because you're not getting the point. How can you hate in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the Bible, the God that created everything just with love, because it's never changing? You cannot love someone and not love somebody else, because then it's two gods. But there's only one who's capable only of giving. So why did he love the children of Israel more than the others? Says Rabbi Ashlag, of course not. They're all mine. When he says, you're going to be on Mount Sinai, you're going to be my nation. Am Segula. Kili Kol Haaretz, because the whole earth belongs to me. And Rabbi Ashlag explains, all the nations belong to me. The point is, they're not there yet. So you will be the Segula. You will be the mean to bring the message to the rest of the world. Sooner or later, they'll have to realize that living without loving is horrible. It's hell, and that's the cause of hell, because planet Earth, is so amazing. It's so full of beauty. So we can have heaven over here. The only thing that prevents heaven to be revealed on earth is the fact that people do not accept the covenant, which means I'm here to spread God's light, the light of love, the light of anything, of creativity, with the rest of humanity, and the way I'm supposed to do it. Okay? So, it continues, verse 14, as we said before, this covenant is with whoever is here today, but standing in front of God, and also with whoever is not here physically. And that's why there's another legend that says that on Mount Sinai, the Torah was given in 70 different languages. What for? Hebrew and Egyptian would be okay. And the answer is, from God's point of view, it's eternal. So it's for everyone. Because of the time, the space, and the fact that only the Israelites, who, as Rabbi Ashlag explains, they went through the purification of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Two, they went through the purification of the slavery in Egypt. After suffering so much abuse, so much torture, and all what they suffered in Egypt, the stories are so full about what the Egyptians did to the Israelites, they were purified enough to be able to let go of their selfishness and egotism and to say, we'll do and we'll listen. Why? Because they were able. When you are full of ego and full of selfishness, and you get your way, okay, whatever you do, and somebody comes to you and says, you shouldn't be so egotistic. You should just love others unconditionally. That sounds like a joke. Who are the people that really are open for loving others? The people that their physical body was wicked enough, smashed and crashed enough to be able to reveal the soul within. So when the body is so tired, then the soul can overcome and say, yeah, I'm here, I'll take over. So the Israelites, after so many years of suffering and pain, they were kind of prepared to be able to accept the idea of loving others. They had nothing to lose. Remember, they had no banking accounts. They just left Egypt without any compensation. Oh, they took a lot of treasures from Egypt, but they had no idea what to do with that. There were no big shopping malls and outlets in the desert, right? So they can do anything. There was nothing to buy with that money. They used the money for the tabernacle, okay? They didn't need to buy food. There was manna from heaven, okay? They didn't have steady jobs. They didn't have houses in the suburbs or penthouses in Manhattan. They had nothing to, they had no connection to anything of these. Okay, even their clothes were something they just got out of Egypt. Okay, the whole thing was simply like eliminated. So that created a unique event in the history of humanity in which there was a whole nation who could be standing there without worrying about how do I pay the mortgage, the salary, the tuition of my kids. They were just standing there free of all worries. Everybody was healthy. Everybody was healed in the desert, eating from the manna, drinking from the springs of Miriam. It was artificial in a way, but that allowed that moment in time that we're talking about. So what happened on that moment? we hear that one of the things that happened on Mount Sinai was the shofar. Shofar. But just a second, but shofar is something that we use on Rosh HaShanah. We're not using shofar on Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot. Because the shofar, what the shofar in Shavuot did, happens to us again with the shofar every year on Rosh Hashanah. And what is it? So the Kabbalists explain the filth of selfishness, negativity, horror and terror that we suffered from others. All of that filth that when it floods our consciousness with so much noise of pain and hatred and grudge and victimization, all of that normal people do have. On Mount Sinai, the shofar of God, the shofar that was awakened by the Israelites blowing the shofar below, and God awakened the shofar above, and that filth is being cleansed so we could understand what is God talking to us. That same thing happens every year on Rosh Hashanah. It's another opportunity for us, for all of us, to listen to that sound that cleanses that negativity that makes us be the people we don't want to be. But it forces us because the noise is so strong. It's so strong that it shadows every good thought and every sane feeling of value. When is it that people really sin or make crimes? When the noise of fear, the noise of selfishness, all of that stuff is so strong, so we cannot hear the real deep noise, sound that says, why do I need to do that? How can I become fulfilled and happy when I make other people suffer? Okay? This is insanity. And that's what people really have. That's the infliction that most people on earth, most of the time, is the first thing that you can see about people. They can't see you because they see only through the filter of their own pain. Rosh Hashanah is that amazing day that we blow the shofar below. The Creator blows the shofar above because we're waking it from below. And by this, we can ask for the cleansing of our souls from all of that noise that filters the real self that each one of us has. Okay, so what does it mean? The ones who are standing here today and the ones who are not standing here today, and we can read it in Parashat Lekh-Lekha. If you look at the Zohar, you don't see a special Zohar for Parashat Nitsavim. So there is Zohar scattered on different verses of Parashat Nitsavim on other parashot of the Zohar. So I'm going to read for one of them, Parashat Lekh-Lekha. Amar Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia said, Bo u'eh kama gdolim ma'aseh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Come and see how great are the actions of God. Sharei umanuto v'udmuto shel ha'adam היא כדוגמת העולם. The artwork, the craftsmanship of the human being is the same as that of the whole universe. Because a human being is called a mini universe. It's like a small universe. All the rules and the forces in the universe you will find inside a single individual human being. Because the Adam Nikra, because a human being is called Olam Katan, a mini universe. ובכל יום ויום, הקדוש ברוך הוא בורא עולמות. Every day, the Creator is creating universes. מזווק זיווגים, and is matchmaking, כל אחד ואחד קראו לו, each person, according for what he or she deserves. which means who do we marry? Who do we get together with to become partners in business or any kind of relationships? It's all a matchmaking scheme that is all planned, and the fact that you marry someone or you have somebody as a partner or somebody is your boss or your colleague at work, that's not a coincidence. All of these matchmaking are done by God in order to give us opportunity to shine and to show that light that we are supposed to reveal from within ourselves. There's no, and as it says, "Hayilchu shnayim bayar, bilti im noadu." Would two people walk together without they were destined to? Of course not. That's from Proverbs. Okay? והוא מצייר את צורתם עד שלא יבואו לעולם. And the Creator has their picture, their image, before they are being even born in this physical world. Which means, one of the biggest mysteries of science is how do you take a cell, a fertilized egg, which it's a cell that is a mix between the egg of the mother and the sperm cell, the nuclei of the father. Okay, they get together. Now you have a cell with 46 chromosomes. Okay, and that single cell creates a human body, complete human body. Billions of people living today, okay, and how each cell of a fertilized egg grows up and creates a complete human being with ears, nose, all of those tissues and organs and structure and features. Okay, most of the time, the majority, it works perfectly. Sometimes there are mistakes, no mistakes. But how the mystery of genetics or developmental biology is how that cell knows to divide itself again and again and again, and knows that the right hand is on the right and that the left hand is on the left, not in the center, not coming out of the forehead, that the ears are at that location, not another location. Still, science doesn't know exactly how it happens. The Zohar says that the form of a grown-up human being comes in together with the fertilization of the egg. Okay? That image is already there. That's what the Zohar is saying. It's like the picture of that image exists already from the moment of conception. And the fertilized egg simply grows into the image that is already there. It's like a magnetic field. I don't know if it's magnetic. It's another kind of energy, not just magnetism, that there is a field that the cells know how to grow into a field that is there, created from the moment of fertilization. Okay, or conception. Now, come and see. Shamar Rabbi Shimon said, נאמר, זה ספר תולדות האדם. In the beginning, it says this is the book of the generations of Adam. וכי ספר היה לו? Did he have a book? Did God have a book? אלא דרשו. So he says, no, this is an allegory again. שהקדוש ברוך הוא הראה לאדם הראשון דור דור ודורשיו. God showed Adam, the first human being, all the generations that are going to be coming out of him, like a book, and there are chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, first generation, second generation, so on, till the end of all generations, which means that is being created even before humanity knew that it's called humanity. We're just following the steps of something, a programming that was already created before we knew that we are called humans. How did God show Adam all of these coming generations? So the Midrash says, אלא שדרשו שהקדוש ברוך הוא הראה לו לאדם הראשון דור דורשיו. ואיך הראה לו? How did he show him? אם תאמר שראה ברוח הקודש, if you're going to say it was the Holy Spirit, שהם עתידים לבוא לעולם, כמי שרואה בחוכמה שיבואו לעולם, אינו כן. Like somebody who's connected to the Holy Spirit and he can see the future. No, it was not like this. אלא ראה בעיניו את כולם. He saw with his own eyes, he saw all of them. וכל הצורות שעתידות לעמוד בעולם, and all the forms that are supposed to be born in the future, Adam had the ability to see them beyond the limitation of time and space. את כולם ראה בעיניו, he could see all of them with his own eyes. Remember, Adam before the sin did not have eyes like we do, because the eyes we have, they can see only a very limited frequency of electromagnetic from the scale, okay? And whatever we see, most of it we don't really see, most of it we kind of censor. We see what we expect to see, usually. Adam could see beyond that. Matam, what's the reason? לפי שמיום שנברא העולם, since from the birth of the creation, the universe, כל הנפשות העתידות לעמוד בבני אדם, כולם עומדות לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא, באותה צורה ממש שהן עתידות לעמוד בעולם. All the souls of every human being that was born, is alive, and will be born ever, this image, the way they look like, is not being created in a moment of conception, but it existed already at the creation of the universe. Okay? So the image is being taken from the catalog, right? That existed from the beginning. באותה צורה ממש שהן עתידות לעמוד בעולם, in the same shape exactly as they're going to be seen in this physical world. It's like it awakes a lot of philosophical questions about the nature of time, the nature of destiny. So if the way I look like, that was already determined in the creation of the world, just in the beginning of everything, so where is free will? Okay, so did my parents have really had free will when they got married and brought me to the world? Was it really free will? Oh, that was destined from advance, from the beginning of everything. Okay, so if that is all destined, what is free will about? כן, זה כל הצדיקים אחרי צאתם מהעולם הזה, כל נפשותיהם עולות והקדוש ברוך הוא מזמן להם צורה אחרת, להתלבש בה כדוגמת הצורה שהיו בעולם הזה. לפיכך כולם עומדים לפניו, וראה אותם אדם הראשון בעיניו. And all the tzaddikim, all the righteous people, Adam could see them also. You know how you become righteous? And by the way, a little secret, since we were all created to bring a message to the world, and since all of us must do that, there's no option to fail. God did not create a universe in which failing is an option. Oh, you can fail so many times, but finally you have to make it. Why do you have to make it? Because that's how you've been created. If we really believe in God, the God of Abraham, the God that is all good. And therefore we can understand when it says in Samuel 1:14, that God, there will never be any, and no one will be ever cast away. What does that mean? That every human soul, there's no way, if you heard that nonsense about if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you'll rot in hell forever. Impossible. Why? If the Creator created you to reveal His light, you can't go against it. You can't be cast away. If you go to hell, it means it's a failure. Whose failure? The one who created you. That's impossible. He's endless. He's infinite. There's no failure. So sooner or later, this way or another, we will find our destination. We will find our calling. Okay, the question is, how long do we have to go around and around looking for it? Because the program is, if everything was already destined, all of us, we also have plan B, C, E, D, whatever, till X, Y, Z. And you know what? Even Z, 1, 2, 3. There's so many options. All of it are pre-planned in order to force us, because the last scene of all of humanity means that everybody has to show up to the celebration of humanity's victory. Everybody must show up. Nobody will be missing. Whoever sells you that nonsense that somebody will rot in hell forever, it's a problem with God, not with you. Because remember, He is the producer, He is the manufacturer, we are just the products. So when a product comes out of the factory and the product is not functional, the problem is not with the product, the problem is with the manufacturer. And that is impossible because He is endless. Remember that again and again. Okay? So, when it says that Adam could see all the tzaddikim, it includes all of us. Sooner or later, every human being, believers, non-believers, finally everybody is going to find his calling, his frequency, his true essence, and everyone will reach that destination that God made for him. You can't run away from it. Okay? You have to remember that. And therefore, hating somebody so much is so not wise. How could you hate somebody that the Creator created to be successful, and the fact that today he has, let's say, the wrong attitude, he has the wrong vision, he believes in the wrong stuff. Okay, let's say you think you're right and he's wrong. Finally, he's going to be one of those righteous people standing in front of God in the end of the days with you. Okay? And how can you hate somebody like this? He's your teammate. He's your peer. He makes mistakes, you're making mistakes. He's going astray, you're going astray. Once he sees it right, once you see it right, sometimes both of you can see it eye to eye, sometimes not. But that does not, but he's your brother, she is your sister. Okay, we all started together, and we're all going to be standing there together at the end. So Rosh HaShanah is that moment that we can connect to that day of the beginning and that day of the end, in which all of humanity realized with this big aha, we all in it together. And there's no one who's wrong. Everybody's right. Okay? After we got rid of all the nonsense. Okay? But first of all, believing that I'm capable, not just capable, that each one of us is destined to reach that perfection. And we are there. The image of our perfected self is already there. We didn't get it there yet. We didn't achieve it yet. We didn't earn it yet. But it's waiting for us. You know, in the finish line, we are all going together, sooner or later. Okay? This is a very important perception, that I'm not coming to Rosh Hashanah with fear. I have to come to Rosh Hashanah with anticipation, that here finally I have one opportunity for a tip. Who am I? Who is the person I want to become? What is the journey I want to go through? The journey I'm going to take? And like, what is noise and what is the real desires and ambition that I want to achieve? Rosh Hashanah is that day. And with the noise, with the sound of the shofar, we have that ability to again reenact the rules, reconnect to our origin, true self that is pure, beautiful, and successful. How do we do that? And you know what? Again, let's say Rosh Hashanah is coming. We won't do it perfect, but at least we'll be more perfect than before. We'll perfect it. We'll perfect ourselves. Of course, if you come to Rosh Hashanah with that attitude, you will achieve some more perfection than had before. And you'll see yourself being more in tune, more focused on the right thing during the coming year, which means less pain, less unnecessary suffering and misery, and more excitement about who we are and what are we doing over here, and more appreciation of this universe that is so amazing, that is there only for one purpose, to let us find the image of God inside each one of us, and also in that process finding it in other people around us. לפיכך כולם עומדים לפניו, which means every human being, when he was standing there in front of Adam, in the beginning, we were all standing there in a perfect state. That state is imprinted inside each one of us, in his soul, and it will never let us sit peacefully. It will always push us again and again till we excavate, dig in, and reveal that form that we all have inside. That human being that lives in harmony with himself, with the Creator, with the creation, with the creatures of the creation, in that harmony that is called the correction, the days of the Mashiach, the days of when correction will come to all of humanity. Everybody talks about it for thousands of years because we know deep inside that it's there. So the nonsense that, only few people will reach that and the rest of humanity will finish in hell forever. It's a painful joke. Very painful, very horrible joke. What do you think that the Creator will create billions and billions and billions of souls, that only 100 of them will be successful in achieving perfection, and the rest will just be garbage forever, for eternity? It's unacceptable, not in the Jewish thought. Finally, every human being, a Jew and a non-Jew, will reach perfection, immortality, the resurrection of the dead. Everyone. Nobody is exempt. Oh, of course, there are going to be stages. That is the special thing of Rosh Hashanah. This is why Rosh Hashanah is the most happy day, because what a chance we have to reconnect to our true self, to a true being. ואם תאמר שאחר שראה אותם לא נשארו על עומדם בורא, כל דבריו של הקדוש ברוך הוא עומדים לעולם. So you're going to say that after Adam saw each one of us, every human soul in its perfection, it didn't stay perfect, it has been corrupted. No, it was not. In the spiritual world, nothing gets lost. Everything stays forever. Kol dvarav, all what the Creator did, they are eternal. He created us in a perfect state, and that is eternal, cannot be corrupted. Oh yes, we came to a world with a lot of background noise, a lot of confusing thoughts, emotions, thinking, body, whatever, evil inclination, whatever you name it. All of that is to give us, again, the chance to earn the perfection that we all having inside and within. Okay? So, that's why it says, whoever is here with us today, and whoever is not here with us today, you're all standing here. Nobody's missing. And the answer is, שכל בני אדם, all human beings, העתידים להיות בעולם, that are supposed to be created in history, כולם היו שם, we were all there. כאן יש להתבונן, we have to contemplate over here. שהרי נאמר, ואת אשר איננו פה עמנו היום. And those who are not here today with us. We just read it in the parasha, או משמע, that means, אותם שיצאו מאלו שעמדו שם, לפי שאמר עמנו היום, ולא אמר עמנו עומד היום. They were not standing there. אלא ודאי, for sure, כולם עמדו שם, everybody stood there, with their full perfection. That perfection has been covered, hid, camouflaged. Our job is to earn that perfection we all have inside and remove it. How? These are the mitzvot. When we follow loving others as ourselves, when we follow charity, helping others, being there for others who are in need, and that means everybody, right? When you are working somewhere and your colleagues, your clients, everybody needs you to be perfect, okay? You're doing your job to create the perfection of humanity. Everybody stood there. אלא שלא נראו לעין, but it couldn't be seen in that moment. לפיכך נאמר עמנו היום, but it says they are there with us today, although they haven't been seen. ואם תאמר מפני מה לא נראו כאן, why couldn't they be seen? כמו שנראו לאדם ראשון, why on Mount Sinai we couldn't see them like Adam saw them, שראה אותם עין בעין, והרי כאן במעמד הר סיני, but on Mount Sinai, it was more probable, likely, that everybody will be seen. But here, כאשר ניתנה תורה לישראל, when the Torah was given to the nation of Israel, היו מראה אחר ודרגות עליונות. It was not the perfect state yet. היו רואים ומביטים עין בעין. Everybody could see with their eyes. We said in Parashat Yitro that every soul of every one of the children of Israel left their bodies and they could see without the noise and the interference of the body and the body consciousness. All of them, והיו משתוקקים להביט ולראות בכבוד קונם, and all of them was really craving to see the glory of the Creator. And therefore, לפיכך ראו רק את הכבוד העליון של הקדוש ברוך הוא. Because everybody, when we had this out-of-body experience on Mount Sinai, and 3 million people saw the glory of God, the Zohar is saying, who cared at that moment to look around and to see who is standing with them? We were just seeing, we were blinded by the glory of God. We wanted to see the glory of God. Oh, we know everybody's with us saying the same thing, that's okay. We don't look around, where is Moshe? Where is Asher? Where is Steve? Okay? No, we didn't. We were really into connecting to God's glory at that moment. And nothing else. ועל כן כל בני אדם עתידים לעמוד בעולם. And therefore, every human being who is going to be coming to this world as a human being, עומדים כולם לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא, they're standing in their perfect state right now, as we speak, always, eternally, in front of God. Each one of us has the image that is supposed to be and has what he is right now, at this time. עומדים כולם לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא. זהו שמה הכתוב, גולמי ראו עיניך והספרך כולם יכתבו. מה הטעם? לפי שצורה אחרת, העליונה הייתה כמוה. which means we are all being seen in the perfect state, in a form, like the original form. All our jobs as human beings is to reach that perfect state that is already there. What we have to do is not to create it something out of nothing, ex nihilo. We just have like to excavate. And our tikkun is to simply remove the dirt, remove the negativity, stay away of it, and dig in. And all the job of every day along the year, and especially Rosh HaShanah, is simply finding the person we are, each one of us. And Rosh HaShanah is the greatest opportunity for that. Thank you.